as that is Bob Nightengale, USA Today baseball columnist. Bob, it's Jimmy B. and Manuch today. How are you, pal?
Yeah, doing great. How about you guys?
We're doing wonderful. Let's start first with the Diamondbacks real quick as they go against the best team in baseball, and that is the Atlanta Braves tonight. Is there hope for this team, or are they just now on an awful slide and slump?
Well, they've certainly been on a slide since they got pummeled by Philadelphia about a month ago. What was it, like 15-3 or so?
Yeah.
Yes.
And haven't really recovered since then. That being said, I don't think they make the postseason. I mean, look at it.
Sure.
Say the Dodgers win the West. You still got the Giants, Diamondbacks, Phillies, and Marlins. So 3 of those 4 teams. I think the Diamondbacks get in there. I certainly like them better than the Marlins.
Well, I think that's. I think a lot of Diamondback fans are very confident that's going to happen, Bob. But I think the one thing we're looking at is, hey, look, we get the trade deadline is 2 weeks from today. What kind of moves do you feel they need to make or they will make? I feel they're looking to be buyers, so does Jimmy, to enhance and keep themselves in the hunt from the wild card.
Yeah, I think they'd be moderate buyers, and they're not going to go all in. They're not going to trade, when they're top picks. They're not going to trade a Drew Jones or a Lawler,
sure,
something like that. But you could trade some outfield depth. You could trade Alex Thomas if you want, and go from there. And pick up a starter. Probably got to be a rental, and maybe a reliever too. If the Padres sell, I'd love to see them get a Josh Hader, who lives in the Valley.
Yeah,
he'd be perfect.
Well, that team being 10.5 games out, that being the San Diego Padres, that's the thing that's intriguing to me. And I think the one thing that I take a good hard look at is that when you look at the situation with the Diamondbacks now, to be able to compete for the pennant, not just make the wild card, because a lot of folks here are really excited about winning the pennant. Do they have to go that much more overboard? Or if they make a couple of finer nuances with ads, that they can actually make that push?
I think that you're realistically, contend with the Atlanta for the pennant. Then you'd have to go all in. You'd have to give up, some of your future. You'd have to trade the number 1 pick. So I don't see that happening. I mean, they just went the painful rebuild, lost 110 games 2 years ago. I don't see them saying, you know what, let's abandon all of our plans and go for it and find ourselves in the same situation a year from now. So I don't think they do that. I think they're aggressive, but they're smart aggressive.
Bob Nightingale is our guest, USA Today baseball columnist. He's on the Right Toyota guest line. Bob, a major announcement came down today, and that was about their television rights. And Bally Sports, Diamond Sports, who owns them, has now checked out. So Major League Baseball is taking over the broadcasting and production for the team, and it does begin with tonight's game. I know that happened with the San Diego Padres. Is this going to have a ripple effect as it continues across the Diamond Sports platforms?
Well, the thing with the Diamond Sports is most of them are the smaller mid-markets, like Arizona. I mean, Diamondbacks knew this was happening. They lost. They're not getting an $18 million payment. I think MLB will probably cover most of that. But then the problem is the off season, and we already know how much money the Dodgers have. But that golf gets bigger because they're still getting all their money, getting a ton of it, and the Diamondbacks are getting about $75 million a year. Realistically, they're probably going to get about $35 or $40 million a year. Beginning next year, so you can't jump in that big free agent market. You can't raise your payroll like they hoped. So that I think causes just a greater divide between the big market teams and everybody else.
Well, you bring up, we didn't even think about that, Bob.
Yeah.
The discrepancy, LA Sportsnet Spectrum is paying the Dodgers a gazillion dollars, whatever it is. And now what will that number be for the Diamondbacks? And you think about money being spent for those free agents. And speaking of free agents and trades, as I mentioned, 2 weeks from now, will Shohei Ohtani still be a LA Angel?
Yeah, I'd be stunned if he's not. Maybe in borderline being shocked. The one thing people forget to bring up is he makes the Angels about $20 million a year.
Yes. Yeah.
So if the Angels get a couple prospects, So what? You can buy a whole lot of prospects for $8 or $10 million a year they'd be losing. Two, they want to re-sign them. If you trade them, you get zero chance to re-sign them. And don't forget this guy's going to the American League home run title. Which would be huge. I just can't see any owner. Artie Moreno is here in the Valley. Being the guy to trade away Ohtani. I mean, they're still talking about Harry Frazee. The old Red Sox owner that traded away Babe Ruth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Certainly, So he doesn't want to live with it. Artie doesn't want to live with that the rest of his career. But yeah, the money part. That's a lot of money to give up. How many of these prospects turn out anyway?
Sure.
A lot of these, when the Dodgers trade away, got Machado and Darvish and all these guys. None of these prospects ever came back to hunt them.
Yeah, I think the old saying is you don't ever get rid of the goose that can lay the golden eggs. That's the key there. All that being said, the one thing we had talked about earlier, it was just that the marketing, the money that Artie has. Has Artie Moreno, being the owner of the Angels, has he pulled the club from end sale, or has he put that on hold? Where does he stand? I know he's trying to sell it one time. Where's Art Moreno as far as the Angels and moving forward with them or not?
Yeah, right now he changed his mind and has not been put back in the market. Speculation. He didn't get exactly what he wanted, but also it's like, hey, I still love baseball. What am I doing? I still watch a few games a day. This is where my heart is. So I think he plans to keep it for a while. And Ohtani's special to him. Stranger things have happened. However, he says Ohtani's leaving. Well, Mike Trout had a chance to leave too, and he was so comfortable there, he wanted to stay. So, for all we know, Ohtani could be saying the same thing. I mean, he loves the lifestyle there. All he does is, stay at home, eats in, sleeps a lot. When the Angels went to New York a few weeks ago, the New York writers asked him how he liked the city. He goes, I don't know. I took the team bus to the game and after the game because I didn't go out.
Hey, Bob, just as far-fetched as this sounds, I know that Cohen, the owner of the Mets, he literally bought all in with the Scherzers and the Verlanders and the 95 other guys that make $1 gazillion a year. Could it be possible he becomes a seller and gets rid of a Scherzer or a Verlander or trades them away? I mean, as far-fetched as that sounds, could they be opportunities for somebody to go get those two individuals as rental players for the rest of the year?
It's possible, but both of them may have, contracts for next year. I want to say Scherzer's he has a chance to opt out. He's making $43 million. James Verlander, that's, who's going to pick up that kind of money? And they've been just, okay. Certainly not the guys that they were before. They're pitching now like they're 40-year-olds. So I'm not sure they'd have that kind of value like they did a few years ago.
I'm real curious then about big spending teams, and Manouche just referenced the Mets. I'll throw in the Yankees, the Padres, the Phillies, although the Phillies now have kind of kicked it in and they are playing very good baseball. But is it taking a trend maybe back to medium spending and not going all in and bringing in all of these stars and paying an exorbitant amount of money? Do you see it trending that way, or is this just an anomaly this year?
Well, it could certainly trend that way for sure. I know the union's very nervous about it. Because, they're always saying, hey, you spend money, you're going to win. Well, like you said, those are the three biggest spending teams. And I think, Philly's number 4, but Phillies are playing better now.
Yep.
It's like, what you get for that money, if you're an owner, it's almost like Hal Steinbrenner, when the Yankees kept spending all that money. He says, look at Tampa Bay Rays. How come they're winning when their payroll's under $100 million? I don't need to be over the luxury tax. So I think other owners will say, what are we doing? Even Steve Cohen, all his money, you don't want to throw away $100 million every year in taxes and get nothing out of it. So I think a lot of questions are being raised. Like, hey, let's be smart here. You can't just throw a bunch of talent together and expect a winner. The Padres have proven that.
Sure.
I think if the Padres don't make the playoffs, I think they'll be the biggest underachieving team in baseball history. I think much bigger than the Mets.
Wow. And Bob, as I always have to give my obligatory St. Louis Cardinal question for you, even though they've won the 6 out of the last 10, looks like Nolan Arenado, rumors have it he may being shipped off. I hate to see with the Cardinals having this down year at 41-53. I'm resolved that they're going nowhere fast, but they're going to be big sellers. And
3.
how do they kind of recoup what they've had the last several years of going to the playoffs?
Well, they're in the right division. They can bounce back, next year. Arenado's not going anywhere. Goldschmidt's not going anywhere. They need those guys to win in 2024. I mean, they want Arenado to go in the Hall of Fame at the Cardinals. Same with Goldschmidt. They're going to be erecting statues of those guys outside Busch Stadium one day. So, no, they won't be traded. They're going to trade away some expiring contracts and then, go back after it next year. There's no reason why they can't bounce back and be, the power again in 2024.
I need to just take what you just said and give it to all the Cardinal fans that are out there, Bob, to just say, everybody relax, having one of those down years. The boys will be back next year to win it all. I mean, I'll just kind of put it out there a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a Marlowe franchise, and it's really the Marlowe franchise in all baseball because they win, year after year, or at least contend year after year with the mid-market payroll. I mean, Tampa Bay does it with a small market, or a small payroll, I should say. But yeah, I mean, the Cardinals do a magnificent job. They'll bounce back. They'll spend the money right, and we'll see what happens. And like you said, they're in the right division. They're not butt heads against the Dodgers and Giants and Padres year after year.
I'll let you go on this question. I just thought of this. The Cubs have the marquee TV network. Yankees have, yes. The Dodgers have theirs as well. Because of the situation right now with the Diamondbacks, would it behoove them to start their own independent network and put it on carriers in the Valley? Or is that just asking too much and it's too involved?
No, they can certainly do that. I mean, what they'd have to do is, jump in with the Coyotes and Suns and do it that way. I think the Blackhawks and White Sox are together. It's almost like you need, more than one team, particularly here in this market. But yeah, certainly get together with the other sports teams and do their own station. You need to have a lot of programming. So I don't know if in the Dynamax, you just have enough programming to run throughout the whole winter and everything else.
I got you. It's always great, pal, when you take time with us. Thank you. Try to stay out of the heat, okay?
All right. Yeah, we'll coach you.
Thank you, Bob. We'll see you later.
All right.
All right. Thank you, man. There you go. That's Bob Nightengale, columnist, USA Today. He is the baseball guru for USA Today. Always fun when we get him on the show.
Yeah, I was sitting there. I was reading this thing about Arenado. Goldschmidt, but the Arenado rumors out there that he may be going to, somebody for a rental player or they pick up his contract. He's making a whole lot of money. And to your point there, Jimmy, at the end, talking about would the Diamondbacks start their own network like the Yes Network or whatever, those teams have got gazillions of dollars. I don't think Ken Kendrick, as a majority owner of the Diamondbacks, would look to do that.
Okay.
Not that he probably can't. It would make it easier for a lot of people to go, pretty much find their own carrier, but where would they go? This whole thing with the Diamondbacks that just hit this morning, late morning to now, I'm just glad that there are formats or areas for fans to go to watch the rest of these games the rest of the year.
That would be highly disappointing if you couldn't watch.
And how ironic, the year they got a chance to win the division or go to a wild card, that they've got these issues with about less than half the season to go.